All right, day 3 of the year of the snake.
Yeah.
And I think we want to stay on theme
Mm-hmm.
with the Chinese New Year
Yeah.
and what it represents. I want to talk a little bit more about what it represents.
Day
Because
3.
we, not day 3 in particular, but the Chinese New Year in general. I think there's a theme in there that we could speak more about. It could be applicable in non-Chinese New Year related things. We ended the last episode kind of talking about this idea of a fresh start.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd like to speak a little more about that today.
Okay.
Again, both in the context of what that means, just because it is the new year and that it would be good to get some background on that, but applying this idea of a fresh start to when people do decide to take the leap and to start a new life abroad, or if they are living abroad, decide it's time to go to a new place, not a place they've been living. And so, yeah, can you tell us, at least from your perspective, because we are in day 3 and we want to be coming from that lens of inspiration about the idea of a fresh start in the Chinese New Year, and then perhaps we can talk about what that looks like for people if they do decide to start a life abroad.
Okay. So yeah, so first let's
And thank you for these beautiful coffees, by the way. Sorry, before you get into it.
hope you enjoy
I
it.
just, hold on, before the chew, I want to get a little close. Look at that gradient. Look at this gradient of the milk to the coffee.
But
and-
enjoy that.
She said that's how they charge people in Shanghai. That's how you
Yeah.
charge for such a expensive latte.
Yeah.
But because you said if it was just mixed up normally, people wouldn't pay that much. And I go, but then don't they normally put a spoon in there and mix it up before they drink it anyways? And you go, yes.
But you know that before they do that, they need to take picture and post it on the social platform. That's
Well, we're not going to be taking a picture, but we obviously do have a production setup of a sort. So cheers to you all. All right, tell us about this idea of a fresh start. Just to give us some more background, we spoke a little bit about it last time, but for those who perhaps did not listen, and perhaps me again, because maybe I forgot the details, please share with us.
Got it. So first, just answer the first part of your question, like from the contents of the Chinese New Year.
Yes.
Like what would be like? How do we perceive, or maybe from my perspective, how I perceive like the fresh start, meaning based on that context. So so literally, I feel like right now, like it is not the actual start of the whole year, and we all know that. But somehow, like it's embedding our culture. Like I feel like, to me, like the first start, like culturally, it is from the lunar calendar after the New Year's.
I think there's a difference between how would you really, I don't want to say normal calendar because that makes it sound like the lunar calendar is not the normal calendar. But
In Mandarin called 公历.
Gongli,
It's like you
common calendar.
Yeah, common.
The calendar in which there are January 1st, that New Year. Mm-hmm. I think people, again, New Year's resolutions, this idea of it's a gust of wind is about to storm. I hope we, okay.
Oh, I hope you're not.
That was a yes. Okay. There's this idea of a fresh start, and like, I'm going to start doing this thing. I'm going to stop doing this thing. It's a new year, new me, that sort of idea. And so I feel like the fresh start in Chinese New Year / Chinese cultural world is a little different.
Yeah.
Like the importance of that first day of setting the tone and being kind to people and like designing your ideal day.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not like it's this new me type of idea. So can you speak a little more to how you see this idea of fresh start? Because again, I think it's very different than what perhaps people from my world will do on January 1st.
I mean, because again, it's only from my perspective. So like before, like I'm also like very confused by why this is the time where maybe have shared some little bit background
Please.
knowledge or story about why we choose why we use Lunar and choose this time point as the start of the new year. So like before, so like in a lot of the festival we have in China is based on lunar calendar. So like, each different festival, or sometimes you don't have a holiday for that day, but this they have some meaning.
I was going to say all of them, but it's actually not all of them.
So
It's actually, because I'm thinking like the big ones, like Golden Week is October 1st always, right?
yeah, but
Labor Day is always May 1st.
yeah. I'm not talking about this like maybe this.
I think national holidays, not national holidays, because they're all national holidays in the sense that people get work off. National holidays in the sense that it is some sort of celebration of like the people or the government or the relationship between the two. So Golden Week, which is October 1st, is a celebration of the founding of the People's Republic, correct?
Yeah.
So that happens on October 1st every year.
Yeah.
We just had the 75th anniversary was last year,
Yeah.
in which we were in Qingdao, and we were able to get on with the festivities of what goes on there. And then also Labor Day, again, it's more about the people than it is something to do with the traditional festivals.
Yeah. So like, you're right, and also what I'm talking about, the things about the lunar calendar, which is I think the very important elements in it is about in Mandarin it's called 节气. So I think altogether we'll have like hopefully I don't get it wrong. I think there's like at least 12 of the 节气. So like we have the different 节气. So each 节气, I always think it's like a
Nongli, one of them.
Nongli. So I think 节气 is like
winter solstice, when the ghosts come out at night. You can't go out after dark at night, and you have to eat yuanzi to save yourself.
Yeah, or dumplings.
Yes.
Different.
So
Different
so I'm just thinking, one of those is one of the 假期.
Yeah, I mean, some of them will be national holiday, like Dragon Boat Festival, which in Mandarin 端午, or yeah. So it's, I again.
That's based off the lunar calendar.
Yeah, again, so like in short, I don't want to make all people confused. So we're not, because we're definitely not the expert about this thing. So generally, all the traditional, I would say traditional festival and some of the holidays based on the lunar calendar. So the lunar calendar are the people. So according to what I learned from a teacher when I was very young, lunar calendar is to help people like to understand, identify, like. So like we know we have 4 seasons, but again, for each season there is like every season have their like special time point. Especially, Shanghai, China is a country which based on very strong like the farming culture, so which means knowing like which time to plant, to harvest is very important. So lunar calendar and different some of the year, I would say GH maybe because of the year, those season points, which are very important for people to understand what they should do to do. And therefore, like, and it's also the like somehow like some like the milestone to like help you understand which phase you are in different season. So for example, I would say like so according to lunar calendar, like the start of the year, actually right now I actually it's not the actual like the spring according to the lunar calendar, but it's the start of the year. Of the year, like definitely it's the ending.
First quarter of
first
the
quarter.
lunar calendar.
Yes.
First quarter of the year according to the lunar calendar.
Exactly, and also because it is also the year that definitely is the ending point of the winter.
Right.
So it's start, but yeah, we do have like a season point called 立春 and 春分. So they are like a different phase of spring. So like maybe the very starting point of spring, the middle point of spring, and the ending point of spring. Also, so it also works same in summer and autumn. We also have in summer you have the 立夏, 夏至. 夏至 can literally understand 夏 means summer, 至 means come. So summer, yeah, so it's very easy to understand that. So if everyone are interested, you can Google it online. You will know like all the story and tradition behind each 节气.
Yes.
And literally like what we learn about. So a lot of tradition is based on 节气. So and also this also can explain why we have different kind of tradition food. Because so those food you can only have it and cook it during this time point because those materials of those ingredients are very seasonal. So it's kind of a tradition. So like in short, you can perceive it as like tell people like when like those time point, like what kind of things, what kind of activity you should do, or like whether you should like plant your seeds, whether you should like be careful, like stay away with like the fierce weather condition, like in the winter season, or like and also like maybe and people later expanded with because during this kind of the time you can actually enjoy this type of the material and you can try to make some of special cuisine to celebrate this special time point. So that is how 节气 works
Sure.
to our people. And also I feel like I'm also very proud of that we have this kind of thing because it will make you like have a lot of fun to like enjoy your life. So like every year.
Well, you definitely want to enjoy your life.
Yes, I mean every year and sometimes when you check the calendar, you're not just checking up the national holiday, but like so next week this is this time point, this 节气. So maybe I can Google and say, maybe I can do this tradition. Give me some reason, or at least for me, like teach me to like understand how to like spend that day in a special way. So yeah, I'm pretty much proud of we have that kind of.
For example, 农历.
So
what I'm saying
Yeah.
is, because you're saying it's almost like an excuse to get together to have some sort of gathering, right? Whereas
yeah, I mean,
some of the older people might tell you that there's
Yeah,
ghosts
yeah.
in the streets and that you can't go out that
it's
night.
happening the 节气 of 冬至, the winter.
Oh, I'm sorry, 冬至.
Yeah, it's also one of the time points, 节气.
People who, yes, the older people will tell you that there's ghosts outside and you can't go outside.
Yeah.
Like kind of serious about it.
Yeah.
But younger generation, it's like, let's go eat dumplings because it's, it's kind of like this.
Yeah, it's also
Enjoy your life.
Yeah, it's also the night you're just not supposed to wander outside.
Right.
Try to not just be scared of this ghost, and we're bringing you bad luck. But yeah, again, it's also like for older generation, like at least for my grandmother and my mom, my grandmother that's very crazy and very loyal to these traditions. So like a lot of the knowledge I learned from my grandma, and also like because again, China is a huge country
very
was
big, yes.
So like even if the 节气 is like nationwide things, but still like the details and how people celebrate are varied from different regions. So like it is also like it would be fun like so I take 冬至, so that time point will show like what's coming. So like I just said before, some people were so we're stick to tradition. We're
the winter solstice. It's December 21st.
20. No. Every year we're changed, but according to lunar calendar, it's like always.
It's the day of the least sunlight. It's like the deepest part of the
Yes. So yeah, some different traditions. So for some part of people, they were the food. I would say the food. Food always important. Like
obvious. What would a Chinese holiday be without some sort of special
I would say that food is the clues to help you understand all the traditions. Yeah, food. Yeah, so on that day, so some part of people were choose to have yuanzi, which is, I think it's sweet thing to have the black sesame inside it. But
it's like a round, small rice cake.
Yeah.
It is
made of
they'll
sticky
have it in
rice.
different parts of the country, but it is somewhat of a specialty of like that East China region, Hangzhou, Suzhou, Shanghai, Ningbo, where yuanzi. So it's like almost like a round
We're
rice
pretty
cake.
fans of that.
And oftentimes, not always, there will be a filling. I like when there's a filling. The black sesame.
Oh yeah, sure.
Sure.
I mean,
That's one of my favorite things.
yeah. And also like so it's
And I get so disappointed when I bite into a yuanzi and there's no filling.
so they did the empty one.
But
right?
unfortunately, it's kind of like durian. It's an expensive taste.
Yeah.
The cheaper ones don't have any filling.
Yeah.
Only when you're at the fancier restaurants do you get the the one with the filling.
Yeah, actually, speaking of this kind of 原子, I don't know actually how to say that in English. It's prettier.
I mean, I think the term it's yuanzi because it's circle, right? Like circular, like that's what yuanzi. It's like circular thing.
Yeah, because
Well, that's what yuan means.
Yeah.
Is like circular. It's literally just like a little like race cake ball in soup.
Because actually I always have a problem. Cause,
I don't think there's a translation. Well, if there must
I
be,
have a problem how to like introduce this thing to the other
there must be, but I don't know
foreigners.
what it is.
Because they know the rice dumpling and dumpling. But it's like, yeah, somehow I just show pictures. And
Small glutinous balls in like a thick soup. That's what it is.
yeah, that's probably use that. Or maybe next time I just use a picture. Or maybe just tell them, as my grandmother always like to use that, shut up and eat.
Shut up.
Yes, that's so. It's because what again back to DHL. I'm always so curious about because every time when she said, oh, now it's come to this DHL. Okay, Trivia, come on, like we're going to eat this. You help me this, and while we're doing this stuff together, I really want to know the story behind that because I really love to hear the story. So I asked my grandma like, what is this story about that? Why should we do that? And she's like, I mean, the ending it's probably like shut up and eat. But like before, sometimes when she's very patient with me,
Sure.
she will give me some story. But somehow, yeah, I mean, they are like pretty much like real, but somehow sometimes it might be a little bit different from those online. But yeah, still like. So like again, from maybe my grandmother is a great example, like representing the even older generation. They are somehow pretty not I won't say that's loyal to tradition, but they really think this is just the way how you should just how you should just spend your day, like spend your life. You should remember those things, and you should really be aware of the very like the change of not only the weather but also like it just the way how you experience your life. If I remember that day,
Like the rhythm. They like the
rhythm,
yeah.
and also like to the older
Very
generation.
important.
According to my mom, like if you're the person like don't have any passion about how to like be, I mean I'm not saying like you have to be the expert of doing that, like be crazy about that. But it's just I think they're like again I was talking about the fresh starts.
Which is we'll circle back to that because that's what this whole
Yeah.
episode is.
Because I feel like I really appreciate bringing this. I was also thinking like, why this fresh start is so different from, because we do have the first day of January, the New Year resolution. I mean, all young people, all people in the world were doing the
Well,
same.
tell me if this is too simplistic, but when I was talking earlier about these two different fresh starts, whereas the fresh start on January 1st and your New Year's resolution and leaving bad habits in the past year is about individual change. I'm going to start going to the gym. I am going to start doing this thing and become this new person, me. I'm going to do this year.
Yeah.
Whereas what's stressed on the first day of the Chinese New Year is don't argue with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Be kind to the people. Make sure you reach out to people and wish them a happy New
Yeah.
Year to make sure your relationships are off to a good start. Again, tell me if this is too simplistic and I don't really have an in-depth understanding, but individualism and this, I'm going to do this year, this is my New Year's resolution, versus make sure you don't fight with anyone, make sure you reach out to the people who you have relationships with, and this collectivist model of how to run a society. Do you think there's a relation there, right? The individualism and that the start of the New Year is about me and I'm going to stop doing this thing and start doing this thing. Whereas, again, the collectivism model is about your relation to others. Like that's what's really important in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with. I think with what you just said, because collectively it is. Maybe we are not even aware of that, but it indeed is the context of all of our traditional culture or whatever stuff. So yes, so like the fresh start is not only about you are become a new you in the next new year.
That's us.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
But it's more than that. So obviously you should become a fresh year, like for the new year. But again, that why are you becoming that? Also, your environment, your whole social connection
Yes.
are updating. So I guess
Yes.
this
Exactly.
time point, the fresh start, you see why 人情 also, yeah, talk about 人情. So this time, so people like try to make sure that everything is new, not only you, because you are so you you are. I was like the you is you consider as like not of their huge giant social net. Maybe like the smaller net would be you and your family, you're like a pretty small one. But yeah, they're like, and then your family, this small net, we also consider the another knot of like a even bigger social net. That's just, I guess that's kind of the model at which can you could like we consider it as like the general structure of their host society in China. So like when you are updating, not only you should update, but your family, your connection with other friends. So maybe the new year start, maybe you were kind of like have new friends. Maybe because of you change your job or you just quit your job while you are sending greeting and also reach out to other people, because we do have the tradition like maybe you guys also have the same on the New Year's Day. You just send your
It's part of it. It's not as I do it just because it's again the one day a year that it's like it's almost an excuse to reach out to people because I fun fact for most people I don't really
Same.
love birthdays. I don't really believe I don't like subscribe to this idea of birthdays. If that's I don't know, and it's just having all these different days that January 1st is a good day to do it. So that's what I will do. I don't think it's like as much of a part of it as it is for Chinese New Year.
I mean, I would say like
I mean,
remember that.
I sent out so many texts on the first. You saw me. I was on my phone for hours going through like all the contacts because it's a big deal.
Yeah, because you just started doing that. It's just I know it's like pretty fresh to you, but to us like it's something like it's almost kind of like I won't say a skill. It's like something like maybe a tradition. You just
Sure.
know how to do that. And again, still like I won't say like everyone will do that. Some people maybe just cut off, and I don't want to send those things to anyone. Maybe just my family. Even some people just don't want to say that to their family. And their interesting thing is, I notice a lot of my friends, the younger generation, because when you are like just a student or you're a kid, probably like those people who you need to like send the greeting out, and also like for most kids when we're in the school, when they're still at school, they probably don't have the chance to use the phone, so they don't need to worry about to send that.
Right.
All they need to do just like these days, when they are like on a visit to their relatives with their family, they can just express their gratitude and greeting like face to face. And that's the only thing they need to, according to my friends, suffer.
Sure.
Yes, and then they can get like a giant amount of the red packets as the reward. According to my friend, he said it's like a great deal. They need to text.
It is a good deal.
All you need to do just suffer there like for like no longer than 2 hours. It depends, and you get a bunch of the money. Hopefully they are all yours, and you are not being like you don't need to hand in your what you just earned from other people. Yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, and again for young people like me, they already have their job and their social web somehow like definitely like more complex than they used to when they're just a kid. So it's become kind of like a burden, I would say, to most of young people if they, because again, a lot of your, as we talked about in the those episodes, whether in 面子人情, again, the moment you're, so a lot of you are alive, I would say, you are just living that social connection, this giant web. So like, there's not gonna be a way you're gonna avoid that. And of course, it's also good things like you get supported by different people.
Sure.
So I feel like So back to the question you asked me, I feel like so this fresh start, it's also like a good way to like I would say like some part of the reason will be the same as you and the other people do in the Western countries. Probably it's the best time to not only show your gratitude and your greeting, your regards for other people, but yeah, it's also a good time to like reach out to those people, which in either is already in your web or out of the web.
Yes.
Because again, to our tradition, those people who like where you are considered what kind of people you want to send this kind of thing on this day, which is very important. Those people should be the one like really in your, I would say the very like inner layer of your web or your own circle, social circle. Because again, you can't just send those things to like a people. Maybe even if you do have a WeChat of each other. Again, on this day, like
Why didn't you tell me that? I sent it to like all my WeChat
no,
contacts.
I mean, it's okay, but for a lot of people, they feel like yeah, again, some people, if they're doing business, it's fine. It's a good way to express that. But for like some people, like you really want to like actually just like keep the connections, you know, keep track of that. And also, it's like a funny thing. Like, I feel like it's maybe some my assumption, but I do like try to ask a lot of the older generation why, because before like I really don't. I know it's a time to like express your gratitude, so I say, why not I just post like the greeting things in my friend zone, like because they all have my WeChat and they know. I was saying to them, no, it's just a very efficient and way, and then they don't need to like send me back. Also, like I don't want to like make them feel stressed. They didn't know because you're younger, and to those younger people, yes, it's okay. Even according to my grandma, you don't need to like greet your peers because you know each other. Maybe you can say that to like when you are meet each other or just being very simple.
Yeah, there is this weird dynamic to it. Whereas, like, as I was going through some of the contacts, there were some people in there that I was like, I'm so close to them that I feel like if I were to send this, it would almost like create distance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if it's someone you see so often or you're close to, it would make them feel like, oh, are we not that close?
Exactly.
So there was a bunch of people who, but it's not always like, I don't know. You gotta read the relationship you have with that person. But I felt like there was people in there who I didn't send it to because I didn't want them to be like, oh, you think I'm just a WeChat contact acquaintance that you send this funny video to once a year? I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, it's right. It's why actually, to me, like, you, as you can imagine, I would never send this kind of thing to my dad or my mom. I mean, we're literally all the time, and but the only thing they would text me like they would just send me all the time like make sure you send the New Year things to the people which is older than you and also like the especially the old generation, and that's the thing that make me to. And also sometimes my dad and my mom would say, could you use GP to help us to generate some like greetings and make sure they're not like it's not like redundant. I also help us to add some icon or find some like I was
DeepSeek. Use DeepSeek.
DeepSeek, yeah, but whatever the AI thing, yeah. I like wait. I saw your people were writing on your own to show your like whatever.
That's actually fascinating.
Yeah, and they think no, we're too old, and we really feel like exhausted. And I also, but why? If you feel exhausted, maybe to the other people they feel the same. Why do you keep doing that? If it's like a burden to you, and they're like, no, we have to. It's it's more than they don't care. Those people don't care about the tags as somehow, but they do care about like it is a special time. They feel like, oh, you guys still remember us. We're still in your social circle, social connections. We feel like it's so the key point is, according to them, it is a way to. So the key point is it's not important like how you feel like. It's more important like how the other people perceive this kind of message. So I guess the goal is try to make sure that other people feel like they are still like in your mind, and they are still like being respected, loved, cherished, right? But I guess it seems that universe, like, and before, like, when I just have exchange like master program like the overseas, even yeah, and also like I feel like well, I feel like maybe it's only a Chinese where do these a lot of things where doing the festival and send those things, but again I also like the people like one of the teachers say they do feel warm like every year if the students send this kind of like, I was it's very cheesy text. I feel like it's exactly the same thing. So, I mean, maybe they're older, so they might like really value our text. But I feel like, oh, this is not something that it's only like specifically like in China, but maybe just again, it's universal things. It's all about the feeling,
Sure.
how people want to like be perceived. How yeah, just people generally want to feel like they are loved and cherished and respected. That's the thing I forgot, and then I feel like so right now, like, even if I'm very tired, a lot of time I feel like just leave it. I don't want to send any of the message, but still I feel like right now I feel like it is very important. I mean even to me like every year and some of my closest friends they still like keep doing that. I don't know if they actually have like a GPT bot to do that. I don't know.
An
But
agent?
still like
Do they have an
the
agent?
agents, yeah. Still I mean honestly, I do feel like maybe I'm getting older, but still I feel like I am being cherished and remembered by my lovely friends.
Right.
Yeah,
Or
but
their agents.
yeah.
Either your friend or it's one of their agents. You're not entirely sure.
Yeah. But yes, it's just only some of my thoughts. Maybe a lot of people really enjoy that. They really enjoy testing that, and it's all enjoy like receiving all this super. I was like pretty funny, like even some like a GIF version
Sure.
of the grading. I'm sure you also
Oh,
make
my
one.
video.
Oh, that's really you were actually. I was like the you were
Hold on.
Probably.
So here's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna put the thing right here. Let's just pause and look right here for 10 seconds.
okay.
So we make sure that everyone watches exactly what
Yeah.
this was.
驸马穷归应个崭新的年，风调雨顺应个丰收的年，辞旧迎新应个太平。
Pretty good, right?
Yeah. I was. You were. I don't know how to say it's.
So here's what happened is so last year, someone who's like 80 years old sent me one of those with them in it, and so then I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I'm gonna swap out the picture, and this is gonna be my New Year's message to everyone. So then this year I was like, hey, can you please find me one of these apps? And you were looking on WeChat, and you couldn't find one of them. So I had to do a deep search to find a mini program on WeChat that created one. I found one finally, and then made it, screen recorded it, and I blasted it out to the world. I put that thing everywhere because it's hilarious.
I mean, there's no.
And then everyone was like, "Who's that lady?" Like, an auntie I met at the park one day.
Yeah. I mean,
It's great. It was just a good picture. It was a good song. Like all of it was just. I felt really. I hope people felt cherished by when they received that.
Cool. They did not only feel cherished, but I was like, it is very. It's very luxury and visually for those people to.
Oh, it is so luxurious. visually.
They definitely feel like they're being respected in a very high level. I would say.
Yes.
I mean, to older generations, they prefer to send this video because they feel like it's like a very delicate luxury, like
it's
like a
hilarious.
spectrum of cards to them.
It's
you know.
hilarious.
You're the master of that, I would say. Maybe
Should I put that on my WeChat moments today as well?
you should do that.
Okay.
Yeah. I also want to have like this, a collect or save the link. I feel like it is a good way to, at least like maybe to the other of my, the older relatives, they might prefer this way. A lot of them, I really.
You want a pro tip? Put a picture of you and that person in it, and then send it to them. This year I didn't do that.
That is pro.
Last
tip.
year I did customized per each person. If I had a picture of me and them, I would put them in it and then send to them.
You are a master. It's very helpful.
人情
Yeah,
人情世福可以说
yeah. I mean, you are definitely are like you definitely are the best one of the best graduates about learning
I'm
the
trying my
人情.
trying my best. Well, we didn't really talk about what we were going to talk about.
The fresh start. Yeah, I still remember that. So like again, I would definitely remember a lot. Hope everyone will enjoy that.
Sure.
A lot of funny things
Right.
about the culture and also a lot of things we're being experienced so far. Right now, I feel So before so just catch back a little bit. We talk about the fresh start. It's definitely something about the as you said, the individualism and versus the collectivism. I feel like it's definitely those are part of the reason behind that. And also I feel like according to the lunar calendar, it is the fresh start. I mean, according to the seasonal time point, it is how my grandma said it is literally how you feel, because maybe you feel like the weather, like how you feel in the air, like, and also but actually for now I really can't tell the subtle differences between the weather, like from this day and those days. But
you got some work to do then, it sounds like.
I
You got
actually
some work to do.
yeah. That's why my grandma said, yeah, you're so numb to those kind of
Just
thing,
shut up
right?
and eat. Just shut up and eat.
Yeah, she's like, shut up and eat and help me do that. And she's like, and also, but right now, I do feel like I mean, when I was grow older, like a lot of time I always have the assumption, this all there are people, maybe it's bullshit. The start of the year should be the first day of the January, because it's like literally how it shows up, at least in numbers. But now I feel like I actually do start to like realize it is the starting point for me. It is it should be according to lunar calendar. I don't know if it's because like it's the years of the training from my grandmother finally work, or I'm getting older, like really being like a person who like crazy about those traditions. But I feel like, and while we're talking about other things, the other part of mine has tried to like figure out what might be the possible reason why make me and other people actually feel like the fresh start from that date. I feel like it is because of all the traditions, all the things we do, all the experience we create, make us believe more about that. So which I feel like in that way actually literally like just go back to that point what I mentioned to you, and also I think you agree with that. So this kind of thing, maybe the ritual, like if you like, you can do this, you can keep doing this ritual and until it becomes your routine, so that every day can be your ideal day. So every day can be the fresh start. So I feel like it's so like can you see the charm of the traditional culture about like that? Okay, so hope I'm right. Which to me right now, I feel like it is something like it just help you to create those, maybe it's manually create those special moments, and thus lead to like lead you to help you enjoy your experience. I think it's those kind of things make you feel like those moments and the day are so special to you.
So special.
So like, which means that's why I feel like that's some things I learned from my teacher. Like that's why I also like make my resolution to start to explore different cultures and traditions. Right now, it's about actually so the different cultural traditions. Maybe I mean if you know like well enough about different traditions, about different New Years of different countries, maybe you can have fresh start every day of different phase.
Do you know where it would be the perfect place to learn about the different traditions of starting the new year in different places?
I know.
Do you know what it would be?
It is some place we're being created.
Yes.
And then we're still like trying it very hard and would love to share that to everyone.
Yeah, we do.
Chameleon Club.
The Chameleon Club, link in the description. It is a free community hosted on school.com, sponsored by Chameleon Pathos. And there are a bunch of people who are either living in places in which they were not born and they are trying to integrate into the culture, or perhaps they are living in the place that they were born, but are interested in developing intercultural skills, learning about different cultures and how to interact with people from said different cultures. So if that sounds interesting to you, link is in the description. Free, Free, free. It is free. If you go in there, we will be awaiting you inside and you can join the wonderful, vibrant community that has been created. And yeah, there's a bunch of wonderful people in there, and I'm sure they would love to meet you as well.
Yeah.
So on that note, I think perhaps we should wrap it up.
Yeah, wrap it up.
Thank you for sharing everything about the wonderful Chinese culture and for welcoming me in to celebrate it with you as well this year and in years past.
Thank you as well. And thank you. And also thank you for everyone who's been supporting us so far. And hope everyone and I mean, we're together can like have more special moments.
So many special moments.
Yeah. Right. Maybe we're until next time and
do it. Are you gonna say you?
Yeah.
You got this.
we're excited to see you inside. Until next time.
One more. Give it one more. Try one more time.
One more?
Yeah. Do a different variation.
Okay.
活泼一点吧.
Okay. So we're excited to see you guys inside and until next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye bye.